Gentlemen, welcome back. My name's Brandon. I'm founder of the TRT community, where we educate men and doctors on all things testosterone. Today, I'm going to be talking about testosterone levels and lab values. So I appreciate you guys coming back to watch the video, subscribing to the channel, and clicking the bell icon. If this is your first episode, welcome. We talk about all things testosterone to help you along your journey, and that's kind of what we do here. We've got a Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/TRT community, and a website, trtcommunity.com, where you can find out more about us. And exclusively for podcast listeners and YouTube subscribers, we've got a website dedicated to the All Things Testosterone brand, testosteronepodcast.com. On that website, we've got a blog, some research studies, some TRT supplies, and most importantly, a forum. So I've had some guys from YouTube and from the podcast, email me and say, hey, I don't have Facebook. I don't plan on having Facebook. So I wanted to create an environment where those of us that don't have Facebook could come together as a community and kind of chat about testosterone. So go join the forum over there. I'm the only member right now, but I really haven't pushed it or announced it to anyone. This will be the first official announcement, I guess. So, hopefully over time it'll build and it'll be kind of an extension of the Facebook group, and we'll get some value out of it. In August, I gave away a prize, and I do this periodically, for the Facebook group. I want to start doing the same thing for you guys for coming and subscribing. I gave away a pair of Dodgers tickets to a gentleman named George that's in our Facebook group that lives in LA, and he's a Dodger fan. It was something that I wanted to do specific to the person that won. So, I did a little browsing on his Facebook page, and it was just kind of a little personal gift to him. So what I want to do for the YouTube guys and the podcast listeners is something similar. So everyone that subscribes to the show from today forward for probably the next 2 weeks, whether it's on YouTube or if you're listening to the podcast on an iOS device, if you will review the show within the Apple podcasting app, you'll be entered to win a prize. I'll probably let it run for 2 weeks, maybe 3, and everybody that either subscribes on YouTube or listens and reviews the show in Apple Podcasts will be entered to win. If you do both, that's just double entries. So, you up your chances of winning, because I'm just going to compile all the names from the podcast reviews and the YouTube subscribers into one list, pick it with a random generator, probably live here on YouTube in the next 2 or 3 weeks, and then choose the winner. Prize is probably going to be valued around $100, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. I don't know what it's going to be. It might be personal to you. It might be a gift card. I don't really know. But I don't expect thousands of people to do this. I really expect like 10 people to do this, So the chances of winning are pretty decent. And I think $100 gift is pretty good. So subscribe, hit the bell icon, go over to Apple, rate and review the show, and enter to win. Now that the housekeeping items are out of the way, I want to talk about testosterone levels and lab values, mostly lab values, because I'm going to do an episode specific to levels sometime in the future. But what you should know about the levels at this point is that if you Google testosterone levels, WebMD will tell you that the levels are dependent on age. And the problem with this, it's absolutely true, but the problem is that insurance doesn't feel this way and that a lot of doctors don't feel this way. What insurance will do is, the range will be like 250 to 800 or 350 to 900 or somewhere around there, depending on the lab you're using. And what insurance does is they will say, oh, you tested at 251, so you're normal. We're not going to pay for your treatment. If you test below 250, 248, 200, 127, they're going to say, we need another lab draw, most of the time. And then they might require up to 3. And at any time in those 3, if you test above that 250 mark, they're going to deny your coverage and things are done. And even worse than that, a lot of doctors, insurance or no insurance, they, if you test above that 250 range, they're not going to help you. They're not going to treat you, whether you're symptomatic or not. So that's really all you need to know right now. So before TRT, there's a couple of different ways you can go about it. You can just get the bare minimum, which would be free and total testosterone. And that's enough to start treatment if you're looking for the most affordable and the quickest way to start. If you already have it made up in your mind that you're going to start TRT, that works. I don't recommend it. That's what ended up happening to me. And it wasn't, to save money. It was just because I was ignorant at the time, and I was treating with one of these cattle call TRT clinics, and they're able to, on your very first visit, draw a little bit of blood, and within 5 or 10 minutes they can tell you you're free in total testosterone, and that's all they have to do legally to start treating you. And I kind of get the impression now that they did it that way because I was there. It was kind of like a car salesman tactic. I'm there. They don't want me to leave because they might lose out on that sale. So I was there. They were able to test it, and then they said, we can inject you right this second. And I was like, sure, let's do it. I would recommend going a little bit deeper, being a little bit more thorough with your blood work. Can be beneficial to know. Well, I guess let me back up. So primary hypogonadism is your testicles aren't functioning. And secondary means that it's an issue not with your testicles, but with your pituitary or your hypothalamus. So it's a brain thing. It's not a physical testicle thing. It can be beneficial to know just because sometimes it could be a prolactinoma. It can be a tumor on your pituitary that's causing it. You can remove that and not have any issues. A lot of times they won't remove it, and you still end up doing TRT anyway. It's just a benign tumor often. But it's still good to know because there are different treatment methods depending on primary or secondary. There's a chance that you could just use an HCG startup protocol and then never have to go on TRT for life anyway. So it's just beneficial to know. And then it kind of plays into the third scenario that I'll talk about, which is testing everything. If you get everything tested, I think you can really benefit down the road. And first, let me tell you what I'm talking about testing, and then I'll tell you how you can benefit later. So the tests that I would recommend to cover everything would be LH and FSH, free and total testosterone, PSA, a lipid panel, prolactin levels, and a CBC. The reason that I think that can be beneficial is because once you start TRT, you're going to find yourself in a scenario in which you are trying to get dialed in, and it can be very tricky. And if you have the ability to look back at what all of these levels were before starting TRT, I have a theory, and it's just kind of my opinion, that once you start TRT, most of these numbers the ratio should be the same. So if your free TRT is 20 before starting TRT and you double your testosterone levels, like maybe your free T should double as well. Just keep the same ratios. And it's specific mostly to like estradiol and prolactin, because there are hot debates about what causes what symptom or side effect. What causes the acne, what causes the lethargy, that kind of thing. Is it elevated estrogen or is it elevated prolactin? The old school train of thought was that elevated estradiol was bad and you wanted to squash that down with a really powerful medication, an aromatase inhibitor. But now it's kind of trending towards, prolactin is the enemy, but elevated estradiol is good. So if I had to do it all over again, I would get everything tested just so I know, here's my PSA, so I can just kind of compare it to what's happening on TRT with everything. I really think that could help guys get dialed in faster. Once you start TRT, you really only need to keep an eye on these things: free and total testosterone, estradiol, sex hormone binding globulin, PSA every now and then, CBC every now and then, and lipids are always good to have. I said CBC every now and then, but realistically, that's what contains your hematocrit and hemoglobin numbers, and those are important, so you need to do a CBC every time. Something that surprises guys all the time is that you can get these done without an office visit. You don't need a doctor involved, or you at least don't need a doctor involved that you're aware of to get labs done. A doctor will sign the requisite, but you can go online to many different websites and you can purchase a lab requisite, and you can walk in with no appointment to your local Quest or LabCorp, and you can get your blood drawn. So for example, you can just go buy a free and total T-test, and it's usually like $30 through one of these online lab requisite companies, And then you walk in, you get it done. They'll email you the results in 24 to 48 hours, and you can take that to your doctor or to your clinic, and they can use that, or you can use that to fine tune your levels. A lot of guys are surprised by that. They think, oh, I need to get tested, but my doctor can't see me for another 4 weeks. You don't need it. There's a lot of different companies that do it. There's discounted labs, there's private MD labs, there's Ulta labs, there's walk-in labs, and I'm sure there's many more. I have an affiliate link with discounted labs that I'll put down in the description below, but then I'll also give you the names of all the ones I just referenced. The reason I have an affiliate link with discounted labs is they seem to have the best prices consistently before any kind of like holiday discount or anything like that. I really like them. Ulta Labs seems to be dropping their prices a lot recently, and I see their name thrown around in the group quite a bit, so they might be worth checking out. But if you want to buy through the affiliate link, it'll be in the description below. I think that's really it. I appreciate you watching again. Subscribe to the show, hit the bell icon, head on over, listen to the podcast, rate and review the show there. Good luck. I hope you win the $100 prize for doing those things. And if you have any questions, you can email me at Brandon@trtcommunity.com, and head on over to our website, allthingstestosterone.com, and check out the forum. Thanks, guys. See you next week.